Introducing members, to my far right, we have council members Leloy, O'Hara, Richards, Eoff, Council Chair Poindexter. To my left, we have council members Ruggles and Kanuha. I am Miley David, the chair of this committee. And right now, we will entertain statements from the public. Pahoa, could you, we're going to start with you, but I want to bring up in Hilo, Lori Lazek, thank you, and Leslie Blythe. Could you please come up and have a seat while we take this testifier from Pahoa? Thank you, Pahoa. You can go forward.
This is Toby Hazel.
Okay, how do you do? This is Toby Hazel. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, wonderful county council. So I've been waiting here for quite a long time, so I'm glad that I finally have arrived in front of you. Okay, so I want to talk about three things: the 374-17 HPP part, the bill number 73 and 74 about improvements. And particularly, now HPP has gone back and forth on this, I don't know how many times with this park, but I want to say something about the finishing the Puna Regional Park before embarking on more projects. There seems to be something about the County of Hawaii that you don't want to finish what you've started before you carry on with another new project. And I understand that there's people in HPP that want this, but the things that have not been completed yet in the regional park would be proper outdoor exercise gyms for seniors. We lose 70% of our muscle mass. The kids have their little playground. The seniors need their muscle-inducing continuing playground so we don't fall on our faces. The senior center that's in our park needs farm-to-table lunches. Kayau's going to do it. How long is it going to take for Pahoa to do it, the school? And senior housing, which can or cannot go into the regional park. I mean, really, you put senior housing into these parks, and the seniors can walk and be without cars and be right in town without the bus breaking down or anything else. Let's get a real planner to look at this stuff and figure it out. As far as the improvements on Bill 73 and 74, you know, the Finance Committee, please give us back our money. I don't know how this $71,000 disappeared from our geothermal monies that was supposed to go to fix the senior center. We want this money back. So however it is you've buried it, please inform Jen and Eileen the proper methodology of getting this money back to us. And that also includes the $100,000 that somehow mysteriously disappears from the Kamana Center every single year, that is supposed to help the outlying areas. I mean, we can't get enough people to come to our senior center and have activities if we have no activities. And we are supposed to be a full service senior center. We need some kind of a budget to get that snowball rolling. And then we need you to please tell these silly guys who run the facility to put these activities on the map in the bulletin board so people can see it, even Saturday newspaper, so people will come. They'll know it's there. Thank you very much.
Yes, you do. Just press the button. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So thank you. I wasn't really planning to speak, so at the last minute I was writing some stuff down. And I just wanted to comment on the fact that we had, I don't know, you guys probably know HPP, we have a little bit of a contention with some of our members and our board. I'm the new president of the board, but I'm not here in board capacity. I'm here as a member, but I'm also here to say that I had to run my first general membership meeting on Sunday to people questioning why the newspaper said that HPP residents were in support of the extension, when that's not the case. We never had a board vote on it. We'd never even talked to the membership about it. And yet the newspaper's saying this. So that put our board in an awkward position. So I just wanted to say that. So I'm not here to support. I'm not even really here to not support. I'm just here to voice that And also to say that we need to have better communication with our membership before we could possibly support it. And doing that with 8,000 members isn't easy. We have to do mailings. It's expensive. We try to do mailings at times. We're doing other mailings. So that's just pretty much what I wanted to say. I just wanted to make it aware that the board did not ever have a vote on it, that we had not really ever brought it up to the membership. I had been ill, so I hadn't even read it in the paper, so I got blindsided at the meeting when I just brought up that it was coming up for a vote and just giving people general information if they wanted to go. They said, why should we? It's already in the paper that we, that we agreed to it. So that's it.
Mahalo for your testimony. And Ms. Blythe?
Yes, Leslie
Yes,
Blythe.
Thank you.
I moved to HPP in 1970. I was one of the 300 homes built there. We were promised a park back then when my oldest child was a baby. He just turned 47. So yes, we do need some facilities out there. But I again would like to concur that communications have been very, very bad. And I don't like being blindsided when none of us, we heard about, it was explained to us about the extension, but we weren't asked. We weren't told what was in it. So our subdivision is divided on a lot of things. And I'm not against this because I want the provision in there that if you folks don't do your job if you do extend this, then that land comes back because we don't trust you. I don't trust you. I've been waiting 48 years for a park. And the county park by the ocean's not a park. And I was living there when that was promised. But I don't know why you can't get your job done. You were given 2 years. I know things run slow, but I don't think it's fair that you guys make this decision and say, yes, we support it, and we're going to vote on it without any input. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. I'd like to bring up Leilani Bronson Creeley and Mary Couch, please. Ms. Bronson Creeley, identify yourself for the record.
I will. Aloha, Madam Chair, committee members. My name is Leilani Bronson Crelly, and I reside in Hawaiian Paradise Park, and I oppose Resolution 37417. I was present at the Committee on the Finances meeting on January 5th, 2016, and heard the lengthy discussion on Resolution 36016, which took up 16 pages of your minutes, and was pleased when the resolution passed with those important provisions. However, I am here today to oppose Resolution 37417, which seeks to extend the deadline for a master plan on a park in HPP on Lot 31. The intent of the two provisions to Resolution 36016 is clear and strong. Provide a completed master plan for this park within 2 years of the conveyance or the donation is deemed invalid and the parcel is reverted back to HPPOA. There was funding in place of approximately $300,000, plus there was more than enough time to develop and complete the master plan, and there was certainly knowledge of these provisions, both by the county as well as residents of HPP. Therefore, no one can claim ignorance. However, our council representative gravely misrepresented to the public in an October 28th Hawaii Tribune Herald article in which, she misrepresented not only to her constituents, to the public, to the board, but to you, her peers, in which she says that in the fifth whereas of 37417, she says, whereas the council seeks to extend the 2-year condition by an additional year, and the Hawaiian Paradise Park Owners Association is in agreement with this extension. In truth, neither the board nor the lot owners have agreed to such an extension, much less been provided any such proposal. The Puna Community Development Plan, which was codified in 2008, designated HPP as a regional town center. The return of Lot 31, located at 26th and Kaloli, could be the site used in the future to develop the center because of its proximity to the highway and to water lines. So I have maps that I'm going to send out to you, and I have an overall visual map if you're interested in seeing. But there are actually 5 other lots that HPPOA owns that are 20-acre parcels, which the county could work with the board to take it as a replacement to 31 for a future district park.
Can you summarize, please?
Thank you. In other words, while there would be work by both parties, it could still be a win-win. And I do have a map that I'd love to pass out that illustrate these 5 other parcels. Thank you.
You could give those documents to the county clerk on the site. Thank you very much for your testimony. Ms. Couch, go ahead, identify yourself, and you have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name's Mary Couch, and I am here to oppose the resolution 37417. I wanted to thank you guys for giving us this opportunity to come forward. I know it's a lot of work for all of you to represent not only your constituents, but all of us here on the Big Island, so thank you. I don't think that the extension on this piece of property is a very good idea. I've lived in the community about 5 years now, and I didn't even know that this was up to be donated. I later learned as I became more actively involved. I'm not totally positive whether this was presented at flyers or whatever for it to even have occurred in the first place. But that being said, the extension also wasn't presented to our board meeting on October 18th. Representative O'Hara attended the meeting and indicated that she was going to do this. We never saw a request for an extension or anything. I was at that meeting. I also attended the board meeting, or the members' meeting on the 29th, and people were outraged about what was in the paper. I know the county has 2 beautiful shoreline parks that it's not designated by you guys as a park, and it's designated as conservation land currently by the state. But it is utilized by not only the residents, but by our tourists as well. People go up, they count whales, they walk, they bike ride, they fish. People will take their trucks and tailgate out there, and it would be really great if instead of taking this $300,000 that was designated to make a walking trail, since we already walk up there anyway, no greater beauty is there than the ocean, right? So take this money and create a covered picnic area at each location, and porta potties or composting toilets that we could then, something along those lines. And it would be within the $300,000 budget. It would give our community and our tourists a really nice opportunity instead of currently people going to the bathroom outside.
Please summarize. Thank
I'm
you.
just really hoping that you all take this into consideration and to heart. Thank you so much for your time.
Yes. Thank you very much for your testimony. And our last testifier in Hilo this morning is Shelley Mahi Hanai. Please come up. We will do so. All right. Clerk, please.
Resolution 374-17 amends Resolution number 360-16 Draft 2, which accepted the donation of Lot 31 of the Hawaiian Paradise Park subdivision, being tax map key 15039-267, situated at Keau, District of Puna, County, and State of Hawaii, from Hawaiian Paradise Park Owners Association. Extends the deadline to complete the master plan for a county park on this donated property to March 17, 2019. If the master plan is not completed by March 17, 2019, the Director of Finance is instructed to revert ownership of the subject parcel to the Hawaiian Paradise Park Owners Association. Introduced by Ms. O'Hara.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Recommend
Resolution.
recommend
Or recommend passage.
adoption. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And it was, okay, it was,
And
it was moved by Ms. O'Hara, seconded for discussion by Ms. Leloy. Council members, or Ms. O'Hara.
Okay, thank you. To give some background on this, some of the council members were present when this initial resolution 360-16 was adopted by the council in January of 2016, and it does stipulate
that if a master plan is not completed by 2 years from the date the property was recorded in the county's name, that the property would then revert to HPP, Hawaii Paradise Park. And the date of recordation, March 17th, 2016, sets that 2-year timeline at March 17, 2018. And recognizing that that stipulation existed, when I came into office, one of my very first meetings was with then Director of Parks and Recreation, Charmaine Kamaka, and the park planner, who is with us today, James Komata. And we were assured that the mayor supported the project and that the money that had been allocated for the master plan, the $300,000, was still available. At that meeting was also Ruth Mazuba, who is here today. At the time, she was on the board of directors and head of the Parks Committee, and she is still on the board of the directors as the vice president. And also at the meeting was Blue Zones. Carol Ignacio attended, as well as Department of Health, because of their concerns about having exercise areas for the seniors, especially those in Paradise Park. So with that confirmation from the director that the funds were there and the project was a go, I asked if we could please have the consultant on contract by April of 2017. That did not occur, and I was constantly reminding the department of my concerns about the timeliness of getting this in contract. So every month I was emailing, telephoning. I even went by the office a number of times to try and meet with them about this project. And it wasn't until the end of August that I was finally notified that they had selected a consultant. That consultant is SSFM. And then the following month, last month, September, well, now we're in November, I'm sorry. It was in September, Mr. Komata contacted me having some problems getting the consultant to agree to the scope of services. And we worked on that via email, got the scope revised, and it has eventually moved forward. So as of last week, we now have an executed contract, and my understanding from talking to Mr. Komata is that SSFM has agreed that they can get the master plan done by March 17th, 2018. Not ideal because it's we're coming into the holiday season, et cetera, but they can get that done. So I would like to ask Mr. Komata and the Director of Parks and Recreation to come forward if they would. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you. Mr. Komata, as the park planner, can you please explain, where we stand with the contract and the likelihood of getting that master plan done by March 17th? Thank you.
The contract currently is circulating for execution in the county. It's not fully executed. About halfway through the process, SSFM has, of its own volition, started their work ahead of the fully executed contract. And the contract states that SSFM is going to complete the master plan March 12th, 2018, so ahead of the March 17th deadline you mentioned.
Thank you. And that's lovely to hear. And I appreciate SSFM being willing to accommodate us. Second question, there is more to the contract with SSFM than just completion of the master plan. Isn't there a preliminary engineering report that's going to be part of that too?
Yes, the preliminary engineering report is going to look into items such as what type of road improvements may need to be done. Look at the water issue to see, whether it's more cost effective to connect to the municipal water system or have an on-site independent water system. They're also going to look at the options for, I believe it's photovoltaic energy to be developed there as opposed to just tying into relying on HELCO only. So there's some other issues in anticipation of moving forward to an environmental assessment, hopefully in the near future, that we know what our options are.
Okay, thank you. And at the meeting that we had, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, the mayor's office was represented by Roy Takimoto, the executive assistant to the mayor. And it was your impression, or at least it was my impression, that the mayor does support this project?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. And are there other reasons why parks would, like to see this completed, this park in Paradise Park? I mean, in terms of building our inventory in Puna.
Absolutely. I know our recreation division has constantly been looking for public park facilities within that particular neighborhood because there's an understanding that it is difficult for especially children in the area to be able to commute to Pahoa or Keao to take advantage of some of the programs that are offered there. There's also the potential with the development of a park in that particular subdivision to address the needs of seniors through our elderly activities division by establishing something along the lines of a community center where we can offer programs and services that come through that division within our department.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Ms. Walchin?
Yes.
Roxy?
Yes.
It's easier if I call you Roxy.
That's
Sorry.
right.
I always trip over the last name. I know you actually resided in Paradise Park.
Actually, I lived in Hawaiian Paradise Park for 30 years.
Okay.
So I'm well aware of the struggle that it's been to have recreational facilities and activities in that area. I have one son who also lives there now. My brother lives there. And I've had a house there for the past 30 years. So I know of the struggles. I know of the water system, and I know that there's spring water there. And if you drill low enough, deep enough, there is also water underground that you could pump up. So it's not an undoable kind of situation. It is doable. It's just that we all got to get on the same page at the same time.
Okay. And as a resident, you did receive, surveys about
I
this?
received, 4 surveys within a matter of a 2-year period asking what the needs were and if I was in favor or disfavor. And my whole family received them because we all live in that area.
Thank you. And I want to point out to the other council members that you have communication number 550.1, and that is a summary of all of the background work, survey work that was done over a 2-year period by the members of HPP's Park Committee, and that represents the support for that location. I have to ask, Roxy, does Parks and Rec have parks in HPP, any other parks?
We don't have any other parks in the Hawaiian Paradise Park area. There was some land at a time when there was an earthquake that some of the land fell into the ocean, and I believe it was condemned by the County of Hawaii, and it was never made that it was never said that it was going to be a park. It was basically going to be used for evacuation purposes should there be a tsunami or that some sort of natural disaster that occurred.
And you're referring to the
beachfront area.
Yeah, the 1+ acre
Yes.
on Kaloli Point.
Yes.
Okay, that was for evacuation purposes.
Yes.
And the other was a condemnation of the roadway that fell into the ocean.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear on that because I keep getting concerns about the fact that the county isn't taking care of its parks, but I wanted to be sure that we don't have any dedicated parks in Paradise Park.
No dedicated parks. But I will tell you that at the onset of when Hawaiian Paradise Park was developed, the developer did say that he would provide a park in that area, but that was a private developer, and I believe that the private developer is no longer involved.
Okay. And if the community, for instance, wanted to make that 1 acre plus property in Kaloli Point into a community park. Could a Friends of the Park agreement accomplish that if they wanted to come forward with something like that?
We never turn away help. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you. And the mayor does support this project again?
In fact, the mayor had a meeting with me a week after I started, and his major concern is Puna Parks, because he believes that Puna is underdeveloped and underserved as far as for beaches and parks. So yes, he has supported this.
Okay, great. So with the master plan and then the preliminary engineering report that comes as part of this contract, Chair, could I have another minute?
Yes, you can.
With the preliminary engineering report, we'll have a good idea of the cost of implementation and what it's going to take in terms of funding the next steps. And there's some commitment from the administration, at least in our discussion, to try and find that funding. So I just wanted to make sure that the public was aware that this is supported, even though we fell a little bit behind in the timeline. So with all that said, I would like to summarize that we have a contract that's nearly executed and should be within a couple days. The consultants say they can get this master plan done by March 17th or earlier of 2018. The background work has already been done by HPP's park committee, and we have that in front of us right here. And there are no other existing parks in HPP. And I understand the community being frustrated with asking for an extension to this important deadline. I'm frustrated. I worked on this for 10 months. And I'm really glad we finally got to this point where we're moving forward. So with all of that said, I would like to withdraw Resolution 374-17 and instruct the administration to complete the master plan by or before March 17th, 2018.
Thank you very much, Ms. O'Hara. And I was just informed that there's going to be an alarm that goes off right after the siren stops. So I'm going to have to take a recess. Thank you, Director Walton
Thank
and
you.
Mr. Komada for being here.
Thank you.
And we are in recess.
Are you acknowledging the withdrawal of the?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Resolution 374-17 has been withdrawn, and we are in recess. Thank you.
Good morning, Hawaii County Building employees. This is Janet Snyder with the Mayor's Office. This is a test of our building's broadcast system. If this were an actual emergency, we would provide information and advise you on the appropriate action to take. Again, this is only a test. When you hear the testing of the broadcast system in your office, please have a designated person in your office immediately email me, Janet Snyder, to advise us that your system is working. Your failure to notify me will indicate that the system in your office is not working. Mahalo for your hard work and dedication to making Hawaii Island a nicer place to live.